On today's show, we focus on a young man who is reshaping the property market development space within townships by providing affordable housing to low-wage earners. Leroy sits with the CEO of Bizz House.
Before I went into property development, I was an accountant. I'm an accountant by profession. So I studied, I have 4 qualifications, and as I practiced in an accounting field, I then realized that property is one of the safest asset classes that you can go into, because I had seen that with my clients, and they were in different. I dealt with different clients from different fields, and then I realized that property is the safest asset that you can go into. It's a tangible asset that the banks they also trust more than any other business out there. They're more comfortable funding a property business or a property investment than any other business. So I realized that, and then I studied the property market. Then I realized that property development is the most profitable, consistent, and you can actually tell from the word go to say how much you're going to make. So you can predict your returns before you even put a rand into your development itself. So then I realized that, okay, this is consistent, this is very profitable, and then that's when I decided to go into that.
Now, your focus has been primarily within the township areas, developing affordable housing for a lot of people. Why is that the case?
Growing up, I grew up in a squatter camp. I was raised by a single parent, and you look at the surrounding around you. So when you're in the township, for instance, what are your choices? You either rent a back room, or you go you stay at home. But what if you are like me? You don't have a home. You grew up in a squatter camp, what I like to call a tin house. Then that means that you are forced to either go stay in a back room. But if you don't want to stay in a back room, then you're forced to go out of the township, and it comes at a premium. We can all agree that when you go stay in affluent areas, it's quite expensive to stay there. That's why you end up having stigmas such as migrant people don't have furniture. I'm sure you are aware of that statement. It's not that people don't want to have furniture. It's because, the statistics, they also tell us that majority of our population of South Africa, over 75% of the population of South Africa, they earn less than 15,000 rand per household, making it very difficult for people to live in affluent areas or afford comfortably to live in affluent areas. So as a result, people now, they suffocate financially when they stay in these affluent areas. So there's a huge gap in terms of the low end market and the medium to high end market. So that gap is left uncatered for. That's where we decided to, cater for that market, where we bring, these affordable, but we restore our people's dignity. That's the most important thing, by giving them a secured, comfortable living space for them to live in.
Now, having said that, what are some of the obstacles that you've encountered?
The biggest obstacle, obviously, that because of my skin color and my background, we are previously disadvantaged. We still are disadvantaged as well. So, when you are black, you come from a poor background, and my parents don't have money. They don't have connections. They don't have asset as collateral that they can use to the bank in order for the bank to give us more money. So we then, I then decided, let me, rather than focusing on the problems and the obstacles that I have, let me rather seek for solutions that I can implement and make my dream a success. So I then created a platform that allows other people to also own the fraction of the development. So we created a fractional development, fractional ownership development, property development platform within Bizz House, whereby people can invest in that particular development and own the fraction of the development. From as little as 50,000 rand, people can invest in property and be able to now earn the returns from that particular development. Ordinarily, with 100,000 rand, you can't even buy land in Gauteng. But now, even with the banks, how much can you get from the bank? But when you have now using this vehicle of which is a property development that now gives you a fraction of the ownership. So you ordinarily you can't invest in property development, let alone buy property or land. But now with 100,000 rand, you can now own fraction of the ownership of the particular development that we are developing in the township to restore our people's dignity and also to create a platform and to break the barrier into entry into property investment, particularly property development.